Hey everybody, welcome back to the Double Pipcast. This is episode 8, and with me I've got Shawn, a buddy of mine, play over at the local card shop. And Shawn, welcome to the show.
Hey, how's it going, Cam? How you doing?
Doing
Thanks
good,
for
man. Doing good.
thanks for letting me come on.
Oh yeah, no, thanks for jumping on. I'm sure everybody listening is happy to hear a new voice. Shawn, so anytime I have a guest on here, I always like to ask a couple of questions. What got you into Transformers as a whole?
Basically, I just saw it on clearance. I've been kind of looking. I was looking for a card game to play because I haven't played one in probably about 15 years or so.
Hmm?
And none of the card games out there I've already played and just didn't want to get into an established game. And I was kind of looking for something to play with one of my stepsons because he was 12 at the time. So, he's big into Transformers. So I was like, well, maybe I can try to get him into card games. But he didn't really like playing the card game, but I got hooked on it. And so within a couple of weeks, I was buying a few booster boxes here and there and trying to find people to play with and all that.
Okay, okay. So that's the same thing for me. I bought the starter pack and was just playing it with my wife as something to do on game night, and then it evolved into me grabbing booster packs and stuff like that, and then uh, here we are now.
Oh yeah, that's how it was. Plus, like back in the day, I used to play like every card game. Like a new card game would come out, I'd buy a booster box, some starters, play it out, try it out, and if I didn't like it, I'd trade them for something or sell them or whatever.
Yeah.
And I used to have like I call it my pack addiction. Basically, just my pack crack. I'd just be addicted to opening packs. I didn't care.
Yeah, man. There's something about it, and I think the folks that develop that they know they're like, hey, what is this going to sound like when somebody opens it up? Build that
Oh yeah.
anticipation.
As I call it, they're the original loot boxes.
Right. Yeah, that's true, man. Everybody's talking about loot boxes now. Like, hey, trading card games, baseball cards.
Yeah,
It's all the
I've
same
I've
thing.
I've been doing that when I was a kid. It was legal gambling from when I was a kid. So,
Yeah. Ah, yes. Yeah. So, I think I know the answer to this, but what's your faction? Are you Autobots or Decepticons?
I pretty much just play whatever I feel like. I try to just make decks and play. I don't get to play all that much, so
Right.
I just try to make decks and play them, and then whatever. I'd probably say Dinobots. I usually have a Dinobot deck, but right now I'm trying to make a retro Soundwave like permanent deck. So trying to get a permanent deck made for that, so I can always have that playing.
Nice. So you
So
picked up the 35th anniversary box?
yeah, I actually got it like about a month ago or so off of eBay. I got that and the Omnibot packs. I had like a coupon and a credit, so I got
Oh,
them for like
nice.
$75
Oh,
for
that's
both
awesome.
of them. Yeah, that was shipped, so I was like, that's cheaper than Hasbro Plus in a month earlier. So
Right. So you said you'd played card games in the past and you didn't want to get back into an established one. So
yeah.
it's pretty exciting, I think, being part of, being on the Facebook and paying attention to this as it's growing.
hmm Well, also when it comes to card games, I mean, if you're trying to get into Magic right now as, just a new player, it would be impossible. You don't really know where to start, and that's even as, someone I've been playing Magic since beta and Unlimited was out, and getting back into Magic right now would just not be fun to me right now. So I was looking for something that was new that I could get into fairly cheaply and get everything into and be something that I liked myself.
Right.
So, I liked Transformers as a kid, and I loved them. I had them all, and I was like, "Oh, Transformers card game, I'll check it out. It's 99 cents a pack. I'll check them out, get the starter for $5 each," and ended up liking just how the game was set out, how it's simple, but if you really want to get it complex, you can make it complex.
Yeah. Yeah, that's same thing I like about it. Big Transformers fan as well. Watched it as a kid, and I think there's just a lot of things I like about it. I like that the characters, there's only a few, so the complexity is really in how you pair them together and the cards you choose to go with it, as opposed to running a bunch of different characters in your deck and having to draw them out like a Pokemon or like a Magic. They're
Yeah.
out there. That's the one thing that'll be constant. And then it's easy to teach people how to play, with some of the blank vanilla cards. And it's pretty simple. It's just addition and subtraction.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you try to just make a little deck that ain't got any complexity to it, it's real easy to understand. It's just you play an upgrade, you play an action. That's as simple as it can be, or it can be, I'm gonna end up playing 20 actions this turn.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So we've got you said you bought some boxes in the past, so I'm taking it you're waiting for November to get your Triptychon in the Siege 2 box.
Yeah, yeah. He looks pretty cool. My only complaint with that is I hate how his cards are rares and uncommons and commons in the set. I think I wish they would just make a Triptychon little play set pack and include all of that with a booster or with a box.
Yeah. Well,
Because
so his guys, Brunt and Full Tilt, they come with him,
yeah,
right?
well, I'm talking the battle cards, like the rare
Oh,
battle cards and
Battlefield
uncommons.
Incursion and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and the Relentless Invasion. Those, they take up slots in the set that, to me,
Right.
really probably shouldn't be that way.
Yeah, like they should just be part of the whole pack that
Yeah,
comes in that sealed box. You get the playset.
yeah, just make a little, a play set of, each of the cards or something, and then, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that makes sense. Yeah, because then you want
Because
to you get that box, you want everything to be in it.
Yeah, because even if you buy a booster box, and you need three Relentless Invasions, who says you're going to get three Relentless Invasions in order to play a full Triptychon deck or something?
Right. Exactly. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Do you ever like fill your collection out buying singles online, or has that never been something you've had to do?
I haven't had to buy. I just mainly trade. I
Yeah.
get on the Facebook trading group, and anything I need, I get usually within that day.
Yeah, I'll have to
So,
do that because there's a lot of cards that I'm missing off to jump on that trading
oh
thing
yeah.
because there's ones that I don't use. So Wave 4 comes out in November. We've had some reveals already. We've seen Hot Rod, we've seen Rat Bat, Trypticon. We've already talked about the last two bombshells they dropped, Lord Megatron and the new General Optimus, Dazzle Strike, which looks just like a repaint of Lionizer.
Hmm.
And then you've got Brunt and Full Tilt, the Trypticon bots that he can deploy. There's Nova Storm, the female seeker, and then High Jump, who's one of the off-road patrol minicons, and then Vanguard, which was the one that I was really excited about, the one that's like a gun helmet.
Hmm.
That I thought that was really cool. And then I think the last one was Powertrain, who was another off-road patrol. Looked really cool. Have you had a moment to look at any of those?
Yeah, I've been like most of the characters I look over, like I says, like the battle cards usually. I
Hmm.
don't look at spoilers because I like reading the battle cards as I'm opening my, first boxes and stuff. But the usually I do like reading the bots at least just in order to formulate some basic ideas.
Yeah. Yeah, my I sometimes I have to just go through my cards again because I forget what they do. So somebody will say, "Oh, this such card." I'm like, I don't know exactly what that does because I'm not playing it, right?
Mm.
So, and there's so many of them that do similar things, but maybe are a different pip color or yeah. So gotta whip them out and look through them every once in a while. I did think the General Optimus. He seemed a little overpowered at like 21 health, 15
Yeah,
stars.
and also his abilities in there. That was one thing I was just kind of complaining on the Facebook group. I was just kind of, why do they fixate all these great abilities and stuff on just general on like Optimus? Can't we have another bot that won't be in the meta all the time, you know?
Right. Yeah. No, I hear you.
Because I can see this General Optimus and then Optimus Battlefield Legend being a new unbeatable kind of thing. Really, I'm just waiting to see what some of the battle cards are, like especially like some of the utilities that come in the new set to see if they make Optimus even better. Because I could see putting 3 energy packs on General Optimus and he's unbeatable.
Yeah, and utilities. There's no that I is there. There's not a card that you can put down that's like the equivalent of Bashing Shield, but for utilities, right? There's only like debilitating crystal or crushing sides.
There's one for each of those. Like the came in wave 2, like Bashing Shield is for armor. There's one for weapons, and there is one for utilities.
Okay, so
I mean, like having like to avoid people doing that, people will be running the device virus a lot more, just because that'll get rid of multiple copies that they stack on them.
Oh, right, yeah, the scrap one of yours and scrap 2 of theirs.
Yeah. But one thing that I was thinking of when I saw this, I was like, I would love to play Unleash Potential and Ancient Wisdom and put 9 cargo trailers on them. Because
I didn't even think about that.
Because if you have OPBL out there helping you play all those actions, you could keep bringing in cargo trailers, and then your 4th cargo trailer, now General Optimus has an attack of 40.
Well, that would only be because there's a limit of 3 cards per deck, right?
Well, yeah, but with the Ancient Wisdom, that can bring you cards from outside the game into the deck.
Right.
That bypasses that. So if you have OPBL, you're able to help play all those Ancient Wisdoms. You can stack 9 cargo trailers on General Optimus if you got completely lucky.
Yeah.
And each of those is +1 per, so at the end that's know, I mean, now granted having 9, but even just adding 1 more on there, exponentially increases it by another 16 or so.
Yeah, once you start stacking them, and then it's iterating over each one. Yeah, it could get nuts. But thankfully, we don't have to worry about OPBL being in there because that would be a 28-star deck. So unless they come out with a card that bumps your star rating up. But
I thought he was only I thought he was like 14 or
General is 15, and I think OPBL is 13, right?
Oh, okay. Maybe I'm thinking wrong then. Okay, I'm stupid.
No, but those were the worst fears in my mind as well.
Yeah. But also like pretty much anyone that'll help you play actions will help you. So I think there's a couple of Bumblebees that'll help you play actions.
Yep, there's the 10-star Wave 2 Bumblebee, right?
Yeah.
So don't give anybody any more ideas about cargo. I don't like that.
Because I was thinking just adding multiples on him and just anything that'll help you play actions to get those Ancient Wisdoms off will could be nuts.
Yeah, and 21 health. I mean that gives him extra time to get all those cards on him.
Yeah.
If you think OPBL lasts for a long time, I mean 21 health. And to put that into perspective, Omega Supreme has 24 health, and he is nowhere. I mean, he's extremely weak if you compare him to Optimus. I mean, and he costs more stars, so
yeah,
wacky. He's going to be, I think, the next chase card for sure.
Yeah,
Optimus.
I just wish they would have gave that skill set to like another bot to make just another bot that's going to be in the meta. It's going to be in the meta with those skills anyway, so why not just give it to some other guy? Why not make it Cliff Jumper 2.0 or something?
Right. Yeah, that would be, bring Cliff Jumper out or spread out all those abilities across different characters that you want to collect and run together, and then combined they have the General Optimus skills. I mean, this is just the marketer in me. I think having the strongest cards or the perceived strongest cards be well-known characters. If anybody's watching it, they see Optimus on the table at like let's say PAX Unplugged in December when they have the Energon Invitational. People know it's going to be Transformers, but if they see like this big Optimus Prime with two giant guns, I think that's probably part of the reason.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, I know. It's all like
Yeah,
marketing, and we got to have our best guys with it. But I just like to, maybe
shake it
we could
up.
have had like the Siege Grimlock with those abilities or something.
Yeah,
Another iconic character that isn't here yet or something.
yeah. I
But otherwise, I still love the stats, and I'm honestly gonna try to do the cargo trailer. I know it's gonna be stupid hard, but I'm gonna try it.
yeah. And then Ancient Wisdom. Yeah, that would be gross.
Yeah, because I've been trying to work on a way to make those and work those into a deck around those cards. And I was kind of gonna do it around the time of the Infinite Loop, but then they stopped the Infinite Loop.
Yeah, if you ask me, I can't believe they allow you to take cards from outside of your deck. Like the Wave 2
Yeah.
Grimlock, that's crazy to me. And
Hmm.
then even yeah, the Ancient Wisdom piece, that's crazy. I do like the Wave 3 Trailbreaker and Wheeljack and Ratchet, how they can bring in those actions.
Hmm.
I think
Yeah,
that's really cool.
like having like starting cards and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's awesome.
Yeah, that was something that an old game I used to play and be a community rep for the Babylon 5 card game. Your starting hand was three cards that you got to choose. So I really I used to like that idea of having a starting hand that you got to choose, or at least like bringing that kind of concept into this game to where you can start out with stuff right off the bat into your hand.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you listened to the interview with Drew from Wizards of the Coast that I did a couple episodes back, but I asked him about permanents and if they're going to be bringing those in there. I think the first one that we have is Devastator's Tower, if you want to consider it that, but
Hmm.
he said they'll definitely be coming out with more permanents in 2020. He didn't give me any more details, but I think that'll be cool to see too. The game has room for it from a system standpoint and just adds more strategy to it.
Oh
But
yeah, and also things that I've always considered is you can always have special rules for more stars, less stars, depend for how you play the game and everything. So I'm sure there's a lot of because I'd love to see like some official like multiplayer kind of rules or something that maybe dealt with sharing stars or having more or less stars or something.
yeah, I think if they do a scenario, I think if they do like Unicron, I think that should be their first like scenario where somebody can play it, but the opposing player gets to play with additional character stars. I think that would be awesome.
Hmm. Or just make kind of like just make Unicron like kind of one of the bigger titans, but
Mhm.
it's not something that anyone plays. It's something that everyone plays against, and it's just a really powerful card
Yeah, like a
that
raid boss.
yeah, yeah. You could also make it to where you're fighting against each other while doing that. There used to be an old board game called Republic of Rome that you were not only fighting against each other, but the game was fighting everyone else itself based off of like random wars coming up. So something like that would be cool where they had like maybe a Unicron with a little special Unicron deck that's got some cards every turn is flipped for them and has, maybe does 2 damage to all bots or something on the field.
That would be awesome. And we'll take a look back in a year and we'll see if that ends up happening because I
Yeah.
think that would be the way that they would do it. I know I've heard that they want to focus on X type of gameplay, but I think that would be awesome because then
Yeah.
it's you can go, we could meet up at the shop and just play that. We don't have to necessarily compete against each other if we want to try out a deck. And then you'd be specking your deck towards beating that instead of You're like, oh, I got a scrap grenade launcher and stuff like that. You're specing your deck to take down.
Oh yeah, you're giving
Yeah.
yourself something to test your deck against without having to have someone else there. Even something alone you can do at home. Be like, all right, let's see how far I can last randomly against Unicron real quick and see how tough this deck is.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. Um, so another thing with Wave 4 that I'm excited about is the revenge keyword. Have you seen
Hmm.
that?
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
from my understanding, that's when they get KO'd, their ability triggers.
Mhm.
So it's almost like I know Brunt and Full Tilt, they're basically like grenades. Basically, they get killed and then they do damage to
Yeah,
the other characters.
yeah. Like I think Full Tilt does like one if he's in one mode, and then two if he's in another mode. If he gets, if he's in bot mode, he does 2 damage to an enemy, and then if he's in alt mode, when he dies, he does 1 damage to an enemy.
Hmm. Yeah.
But
So,
you know,
uh, yeah, I think the new keywords are always good too. I think it's funny though when an old card from like Wave 1 does the same thing, but they just didn't have the keyword thought up yet.
yeah. Well, that's one thing I'm wondering. I'm wondering if they're gonna do any kind of like peace through tyranny kind of reprint, or maybe do another card that's like that, because I mean, it's seemed the keyword is kind of made for peace through tyranny. Just
Hmm.
KO your guy, do your stuff, and bring him back with I still function or something like that. So I could see a lot of abuse with revenge being done with the right deck.
Yeah.
With
I think yeah.
I could see Triptychon just killing his own guys, bringing him back, bringing him right. I think he can bring him back under him. I'm not sure, but
Yeah, he doesn't
yeah.
heal like how Soundwave heals from bringing him back, but he can bring him right back and then deploy him again at full health.
Oh, wait, that's right. Whenever like one of his guys die, he gets healed. So you're just, peace through tyranny, I still function, peace through tyranny, getting their revenge function cards, and Triptychon getting healed each time.
Yeah, it's gonna be nuts. So
Yeah.
I definitely think we'll see him being played. And people were kind of complaining about the fact that his deployment card was a green pip and it's not like a flip mechanic like Metroplex, but I
Oh no, I'm
it'll
fine
be
with that.
crazy.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm fine with that. It's basically just like an enigma, and enigmas come up all the time when I'm playing like my Predacon deck.
right. That's why you don't need three because
Yeah.
you're gonna get to it by the time
I
you're able to even transform them.
I would say of all the bigger guys like Metroplex, Omega Supreme, and Triptychon, I think Triptychon's probably my favorite and probably be the one I'll probably play the most.
Yeah, I mean, how can you go wrong with a big dinosaur that
Yeah,
just
yeah.
doesn't stop moving, just terrorizes?
I'm just waiting for Triptychon versus Dinobots.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome. Volcan. It's almost like the Dragon Zord against all the
Yeah.
Megazord parts. Hey, maybe you know something about this, but I was looking at the booster pack art, and we got Cog, and he was a weaponizer in Wave 3, but they talk about the odds on the booster pack, and one of the odds is you can get one half of a weaponizer. So that sounds like to me they're gonna have like combining cards that are weaponizers.
Well, I know in the Siege toy line they have guys like they have 2 packs. They're little guys that combine each other into one bigger weapon that another guy uses.
Um,
So I'm betting it's like a mechanic, um, kind of like how we probably have the weaponizers, how we have, but both of them probably have to be KO'd before their weapon is made and put on a guy.
Oh, kind of, yeah. So
Um,
like the other part of the text, just like in a combiner, the other part of the text is on the other side. So,
yeah, so you'll have to
uh,
have both of them, and maybe there's a way to have different, because I know you can kind of change the combiners around for different weapons, at least in the toy line.
yeah.
So, I'm kind of wondering they'll probably have, 2 guys, or maybe you can have different guys and it's just their effects stack with each other or
So
something.
like
I don't know.
one, yeah, that'd be crazy. So you could mix and match the different weaponizers, and then that would be awesome.
Yeah. So
Hmm.
you basically have two bots that when they KO form into the weapon that or the upgrade that goes onto your main bot or something. That's what I'm thinking. That's the only
Yeah.
thing I can think of.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's right out there in the open on the booster pack. So I mean, it's not like we're speculating too far. I mean, it's there's gonna be two halves. So
Yeah. Yeah, see that's what I saw when I first saw. I was like, "Oh, okay, so they're probably just going to have a mechanic to where two guys combine into one weapon to put on one guy."
yeah.
But I'm
So
just wondering when Shockwave and Megatron is going to be made into weapons. That's
yeah,
what I'm.
that Megatron. Seriously, I feel like somebody made a comment on that, but I feel like they definitely need his pistol form.
Yeah. Yeah, and Shockwaves too. I used to love Shockwave's toy gun when I was a kid.
Yeah, I feel like he'd be more like a artillery turret that somebody would like stand on and shoot because he's bigger.
Yeah, probably. Well, it's weird in the TV. It doesn't in the TV series. They're the size of they need to be. It doesn't matter. It seems.
Right.
Soundwave is as big as a building, but Spike can fit him in his pocket, and he doesn't weigh anything. So,
Uh, physics
that
were out the
it
door.
is. Yeah, it is more than meets the eye. It's more
Yeah.
than meets the laws of reality too.
Whatever they could do to sell the toy.
Yeah, I'm not complaining. I love it though.
Right.
I
For
got
sure.
my I got my G1 Soundwave reissue on top of my shelf right now. So
Nice. So speaking of the Soundwave deck you're working on, have you been looking at Ratbat at all? Because I know he's one of the spy patrols.
um no, not really yet. Mainly I'm just mainly working on the retro
Oh
Soundwave.
yeah, he is a mini. He takes mini
Yeah,
cassettes, not spy
I think
patrol.
it's a minute, but I am wanting to make a modern a Siege Soundwave too.
That new Siege set, the non-anniversary cards, those look cool too.
Yeah.
Uh, Generations art.
Yeah, those. Yeah, I was like, well, do I want to buy one? Do I want to wait a little while because I liked both of them,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, I can't buy in good conscience buy both sets. So I was
Not in
like,
good conscience. You can still
yeah,
physically buy
oh, I could still do it,
it.
but it was like, well, but then what do I do? Do I keep the 35th set, unopened on my shelf? That was one thing I was thinking. I was like, no, I want to play that.
Oh yeah,
I was
yeah,
like, I'll just get that one, and I'm not going to worry about the other one. Maybe if I can trade for them, trade for the bots and stuff, I will, which will probably most likely happen. I'm
yeah.
thinking a lot of guys will probably buy that just for some of the extra battle cards for decks and stuff.
I hear you. Yeah, I got some Metroplex on clearance, like super, super cheap, just to get the extra height advantage for Triptychon. So I could
Yeah,
run.
I need to try to find one of those. I saw a Walmart around in the area. I think it was out in Owasso or something that had one. So I might go out and try to see if it's on clearance.
Yeah, because I mean, Transformer stuff is collectible. You end up grabbing a starter, the starter packs sealed and keeping those. Game gets real popular. I mean, look at the Pokemon card game. Those are like $1,000 cards now, the booster
Oh,
boxes and stuff. So,
oh, I made so much money when Pokemon first came out because I bought a couple of first edition cases,
hmm
and it was me and a couple of friends. We went on a couple of cases, and we just opened those boxes, and we got like a handful of Charizards and like pretty much a few complete sets out of like play sets out of everything. We made so much money off of that.
that's awesome.
But
Yeah, I'm surprised with some of the values of the cards. Like Major Shockwave is 70 to 80 bucks. Just
oh yeah, I pulled a few of them. I've already pulled a few. I might put them on the Facebook group for 65, $70. Bam, sold 5 minutes later.
that's crazy.
And like people saying, "Bo, put them up on eBay." It's like, no, I'd sell them faster and get more money because of no fees.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Yep. I think they take like 10% off the top.
Yeah. and PayPal only takes 5. So,
But enough about how we handle our side hustle. um, Hey, so I wanted to talk about blue versus orange, and more specifically, Vanguard. Vanguard is our, as far as I know, our first armor battle master.
hmm
So he's 3, 5, and 1 when he's not dead, and then he's like a team-wide force field almost for his ability. When anybody is defending and you flip at least one white pip on your team, they can't take more than 5 damage.
hmm
That I mean, that to me is crazy. You've got a team wide. It's one more damage, but it's a team wide force field as long as he's on the field.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it's well, not. I guess force field is 4, but I mean, I
Right,
guess this is just one more, but it's still team wide. So
right.
I mean that works great, especially if you put him on someone who has stealth who isn't going to get attacked. Then all of your guys are pretty much always going to be covered.
Yeah, yeah. So I wonder if you want to keep him alive because normally you want to suicide your weaponizers as soon as possible to get them equipped, right?
hmm
Or your battle masters. But it sounds like you might want to get as much value out of him as possible.
Oh
Um,
yeah, like most people just aimless and lionize are first to attack, but him I would be no, I'll just attack with anyone else
yeah.
because I'd want to keep him on the battlefield as long as I can. Put stealth in there, stealthiness to help him avoid any attacks when he is tapped,
Yeah.
and that'll help keep him alive.
He's going to be one that I want to get my hands on for sure.
hmm
So, do you try to go against the grain and make blue decks, or I mean, you see the power of the orange and just go with the orange decks?
I make whatever I pretty much feel like. Like when I'm playing just around local and stuff, I don't care about winning. I
Right.
just care about having fun.
Yeah.
And I'll make mixed decks or stuff, but I have no everything has their strength. Doing Nemesis Prime aimless is great for blue. Dinobots is great for red or great for orange. Do I don't really have a preference. My preference is who am I playing and what helps them the most.
Right. So
I
you pick
care.
the character card and then you see what you need to do around that to take
Yeah.
advantage of it.
Yeah, or I see what do I want to achieve with the deck, and if I figure out that, well, if I'm making something that's real janky, and half the cards I need for that to go off is blue, then might as well just make the whole deck blue. Then go ahead and go with that theme. Or if again, if something calls for specific red or blue, then go for that. And I'm kind of glad that they're adding, black was added, so that gives you some more options. So I'm hoping to see some more options for that. And, of course, there's plenty of colors to come up later in the future.
Yeah, I know they said that the core set black rounded out the core set of pips, and how do you think black is in terms of power? Do you think it's just right where it needs to be, or
I think it's right. At least for now, it's right where it needs to be. I mean, it mainly helps smaller guys. I mean, bigger decks really don't benefit all too much. I don't see Optimus Prime, Battlefield Legend, or Nemesis Prime actually. They don't really benefit too much from that because their attack is so high. But for like smaller guys, like for my Soundwave deck that I'm trying to work on, I'm trying to make it more blue and black. So it's defensive with a lot of pierce just to get that guaranteed damage with the cassettes. So, I might not be doing a whole lot of damage, but every time a cassette attacks, you're taking 4 damage right off the bat.
death by a
Just,
thousand cuts?
yeah. And since I've got 1,000 mini cassettes and I can keep bringing them back, let's see how long you can last.
Yeah,
That's why with and Energon axes and laser cutlasses are great because they're blue pips, and Energon axes or the laser cutlasses have black pips too.
yeah, yeah. Either of those would be broken if they had green on it. You just pick
Oh
them
yeah,
up.
yeah.
Yeah, that'd be
But
crazy.
I was thinking, like for like pips in the future, I was thinking like I thought maybe they'd do like a red and a purple pip for Decepticon and Autobot and have some kind of mechanic with that.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Instead of like the watermark that they have right now, like Autobot and Decepticon cards, or in
well,
addition to.
well, like in addition to maybe just like have like they could be just pips for like what I was thinking is, let's say a purple pips give +1 attack or +1 blue to a Decepticon while flipping. So it
Yeah.
only works for Decepticons, but it's attack or defense it adds.
So if it's no matter when it's flipped, it counts for what you're trying to do.
Well, no, for like that character. So let's say
Right,
Nemesis Prime is attacking, and he flips 3 purple pips, then it's attack. If he's
right.
defending, then it's defense. But let's say he pulled 3 red, which is Autobots, then since he's a Decepticon, there's no bonus at all.
Right. They're just blank pip cards.
Yeah, they would basically be treated as blank pip card, nothing.
Man, that's the if anybody was paying us for this, that'd be the $1,000 idea right there.
What? I've been playing card games for 30 years. WotC needs to, they need to hire me for
Hire this man.
consulting ideas. Yeah, just, I don't even hire me. Just say, hey, we'll take some of your ideas. Here's a free box of cards.
Yeah, red and purple pips. You heard it here first.
Yeah.
Red and purple pips. Yep. That
I,
I bet you that'll come.
yeah, because I was thinking about that. I mean, it's a great way to focus decks more towards Decepticons and Autobots.
Right, and incentivize people to not have Flame War on their team just to get the bold one and the tough one, right? It's like if
Oh,
they
yeah.
run all one card, then there's value in specializing towards those cards. So
Hmm.
good idea. Good idea. Well, man, I am excited for Wave 4. I'm also excited for the Energon Invitational. I applied for a press pass to hopefully go to PAX Unplugged with
Cool.
the free badge. I still would have to pay for lodging and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I also applied to work for the Pastimes folks because I know they're also giving people badges to go out there and work for a few days and work that event.
Oh.
So I think that would be cool too. Either way, I want to get out there. I probably won't be able to compete because I play jank like Blue Streak and Sideswipe, but
So
uh,
that's how I am. I don't like for all the Energon invitationals and stuff. I was like, I'm not real big into the real big competitive because you're mostly gonna see the same decks,
right,
over and over, same guys. It's like I don't like playing against the same people. That's why my decks I always kind of like to have something that either no one uses or I'm using something everyone uses, but in a completely different way.
right. I hear you. Yeah, I'm cut from the same cloth, man. The weird cards, like everybody's like, yeah, fire cons are weak. You might as well just play these. I'm like, no, fire cons
Oh
are
no,
cool because they're dinosaurs, and
yeah, I
yeah,
want to make I still need to make a fire cons deck just because no, they can be cool.
yeah.
I'm trying to do an Omnibots deck, trying to figure that out, and they just all have cool abilities that I want to try out.
Yeah, I like Flame Feather, man. He can get defense for his reds. He's the first card, like character card, that actually gets defense from red, as far as I
Mm.
or from orange. You don't have to worry about inverted or anything like that. So I think I think they're awesome. But yeah, I I don't get mad when I lose because I know I'm not playing the optimal deck. If I wanted to win, yeah, I would run. If it was Wave 1 still, I'd run Grimlock or I got a OPBL, but I'd rather have a less chance of winning with something funky.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I want to have more fun.
yeah,
That's why I kind of like playing sealed and turbos a lot more, just because I like the randomness
hmm
and you're not going up against stuff that's tailor made. Even if someone pulls a OPBL, okay, he's just a strong bot.
right,
If you ain't got a deck made to OPBL, he's
right,
just a real strong bot.
right. Yeah, yeah. That was probably some of the most fun I had was that opening day when
Hmm.
Siege 1 first came out. And we played that sealed event.
Hmm.
But I made a mistake of not because I pulled that major shockwave then, and I
Hmm.
didn't run him. So for the first like 3 games, I was running Sideswipe, Trailbreaker, and Red Alert, and getting whomped. I
Oh
think
yeah.
Bill pulled the Megatron and
Hmm.
Optimus that day.
Yeah.
Was
And
wiping. People were running Ion Storm, and he's giant and sealed.
yeah, my buddy who I paid, I was like, hey man, why don't you come and I'll pay and you give me the cards. He pulled a shockwave. And I was like, you should play him. He's like, no, I'll just play these other guys. I was like, man, you need to play him. He's like,
Yeah,
his ability doesn't work. I was like, he's so beefy though.
yeah.
Because
Well, yeah,
yeah, because I played the next sealed event there, and I pulled Shockwave and Soundwave, and I played both of those, and I didn't lose a game. I
yeah,
was like, these two together because they each have that 3 defense. Their attack was high, and since in Siege there's hardly any orange pips, they no one could beat their defense, and when they did, they do 1-2 points of damage. Well, he's got 17 health.
right. Yeah, and there's a. I feel like the Pierce was really cool for sealed as well because every attack it was like this Pierce 2, this Pierce 3.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean that's one way you could get around. A lot of people were doing against like Shockwave, but again in that sealed environment, especially in Siege, you're getting medics like a medic card one every 3 packs it seemed.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it was just a way to keep them a lot, alive a lot longer.
yeah, yeah. I think what's the other super rare I have? I have King Starscream, but I think I have more of affinity for the weird stuff, so I haven't tried to make a deck for either of those guys yet, but
Yeah,
I'll get around to it.
I've been wanting to make a Starscream Decepticon crown deck, but again, like I said, I've get maybe a chance once a month or so to play casually instead of sealed and stuff, just because of how things turn out with other people's schedules. So I'm trying to find a new night to get something together for casual play.
Yeah, for sure.
Um,
And we're not far away from one another. I mean,
oh yeah,
it's just a
yeah.
hop.
Yeah, there's a place about an hour away that meets on Tuesday nights. They do like a sealed league, so I've
Hmm.
been thinking about going up there and checking that out.
Yeah, well, let me know how that goes.
Oh yeah, and I know Frank said it's real fun and everything, so I was like, well, I need to try it out because I'm getting withdrawn. I don't
Yeah,
get to play enough.
yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I played with Aaron, who was on episode 3. I brought him out to the event too. I played with him over a webcam, and I mean that worked out
Mm.
okay.
Yeah, I've been seeing people post about Octagon and stuff. I just never used any of that app stuff or anything, so I'm like, I don't know.
Right.
I ain't got enough time to deal with that and
Yeah. Well, part of the fun is actually having the cards, not
oh
playing it
yeah.
on a computer, right?
Yeah, I mean, most of the fun I've ever had making decks is sitting there for 3 hours watching Futurama DVDs on Play All,
Oh yeah.
making, 5 or 6 different decks at a time and play testing them against each other.
Oh yeah. Nothing wrong with fish bowling. That's
Yeah.
what I've been doing. Yeah, and speaking of Frank, I mean, congratulations to Frank. He drove out to Kalamazoo and wiped the floor with a blaster deck, I think, and won
Oh yeah.
his Energon ticket. So now I think he's contemplating going out there.
Oh yeah. I mean, well, if you get a ticket or something, it's always open something up. I
Yeah.
mean, it was finally a couple of years ago. I won a couple like lottery tickets for Funko booth and Lego booth at Star Wars Celebration on Orlando, and I lived in Tampa.
Okay.
And so I was like, well, if I can get all these, why not get a ticket and go to Celebration? So I ended up going to Star Wars Celebration that weekend based off of just that random winning. So
Yeah.
I can see how he would feel like that. I mean, if you get something like that, it's like, well, can I put together a few $100 in a couple of months for lodging and gas and all that, and at least have a chance? Playing in big tournaments is fun. I played in a bunch when I was back in Magic and everything. So it's just a whole different experience too, because you're going up against, some of the best. I played against some of the best on the Magic Pro Tour back in the day because one guy, one of the top guys had a game shop in Tulsa, Oklahoma. He opened one up there. And so I used to play with one of the head Pro Tour guys all the time. And playing in those big environments is fun. So I could see how, he would be excited and wanting to try to figure that out.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, it's Philadelphia, so it's not really that far away either. So
No, it's like 8 hours if you're
yeah,
going speed limit.
yeah, and that's if you want to drive.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes the flights they get down pretty cheap, so you can snag one up.
Oh
Maybe
yeah. So.
we'll just have to live vicariously through him. Ask for updates. Be like, hey, how's it going? How's it going? How's game one? How's game two? Nice. But I think they're gonna have like let's play or like learn to plays and stuff. They're gonna have sealed events and casual, so there's gonna be stuff going on outside of the tournament, which I think's neat.
Yeah, I was wanting to go to Gen Con this year, but mainly because it's the closest I've ever been, and I was like, if I can just get the finances, but couldn't get the finances together. But I've already got a Gen Con 2020 fund, so.
Nice. Yeah, we'll have to try to see how many of us we can get to go out there next year. That'd be cool to go as a group,
Oh yeah.
or at least meet up.
Yeah, because I've been to a bunch of cons, but I never got to go to Gen Con. That's one of the big cons that I've always wanted to go to, but never could.
Yeah, and now I mean it's super close. What, Indianapolis?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
so it's not that bad.
yeah, because I've the other biggest like gaming con I've been to is Origins. So
Okay.
that's like the second biggest,
Right.
and that was in the late '90s.
Just a little bit ago.
Yeah,
It doesn't
it's been
seem
a
like
while.
that long ago, but
Oh yeah,
I guess it is.
yeah. It's been a while since I've been in any big cons. So, and big cons like that are fun just to go to and walk around. And heck, I've wandered the merchant floors for hours just looking at stuff, being like, "Huh, do I want to buy this? Let me make one big circle, see if I can find it cheaper or something better."
Yeah, and sometimes if it's the last day, then they give that stuff out
Oh
much
yeah,
cheaper because they don't want to
they'll
take it back home.
yeah they'll put that stuff 25-30% off, especially the last hours when the doors are about to close, and you can get some pretty good deals.
Yep.
Even if they don't have a post, you could probably go up and say, give you $20.
I'll have to tag along with you then. Be like, hey man, how much do you want for that slipstream?
Oh, I've done that. I've done that a lot on cons and stuff. Trading like pre-releases and stuff, looking for guys who want to leave the pre-release set, days with full sets and getting all kind of sweet deals.
Wheeling and dealing.
Yeah, those. So I can understand. Grats to Frank for that. So always think about the stuff, not just the tournament, but the whole experience around it too.
Oh yeah, yeah. Even if
I mean,
you're not the one person to come in first or being like on the podium, I mean, just being there is fun,
oh yeah.
especially
Well,
with a game. This is the first tournament for it, so
mhm.
just to be a part of that would be really cool.
Yeah, and just the part of being able to try out other games. I mean, when I went to other games, I was I'd go for the Magic and Babylon 5 tournaments, but just getting to try other new games for free was, fun for me too.
Yeah, because it's actually a convention too. It's not just like a venue for the tournament.
Yeah,
So
because I mean, like, the WotC reps. I mean, heck, back in the day, they'd have full starters and booster packs. If you've never played, just go and grab a couple and start playing. They were yours. You didn't have to pay for them and stuff. I don't know how it is now. Like I said, I haven't been in con for like 20 years, but I would go just for even if I won the invitational and didn't play in it, I'd still probably want to go if I could.
well, hey Shawn, thanks for jumping on. Thank you all for listening, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks a lot, man. Thanks for having me.